let me set the stage for today's episode. This isn't a surface level conversation. We're getting into real world insights, what works, what doesn't, and how to apply what you hear today in a practical way, whether you're building a business, a brand, or your next opportunity. I want you to stay with me until the very end because I'm offering a free bonus specifically for listeners who finish the episode. Something that can help you skip the line and move faster if being on this show is something you've been thinking about. All right, let's get into today's conversation. Hey guys, welcome to the Financial Freedom Podcast. Today's guest is hailing from Israel. He's a startup founder. Today's talk is about entrepreneurship, the startup scene, how he's helping clients. I'm happy to have him on. Laurent, welcome.
Thank you, Christopher. Happy to be here.
Discuss your journey and what led you to start a company in Israel.
I've been an entrepreneur all my life. Started my first company in 1993 in France in the environmental business. Just after the internet started, I've been a geek all my life. By 2002, I decided as a young married man to move to the US and live the American dream. I went right after the bubble. Probably the best decision I've ever taken in my life. I like to call it the Far West. Everything was possible. Big people, big companies at that time lost everything. And new one just were coming. Google was hardly starting. It was a beautiful time. In a certain way, it reminds me of what we're living right now with AI. I worked in the US until 2020. I came back to France because I still have my business. About 8 months ago, while starting my new venture, I decided, because of certain connections, to move to Tel Aviv. The startup scene is exciting and brings a new perspective.
Talk about what Getabolic does. Voice First AI Local Business Directory. What is that?
Let's first by what it's not, because everybody and their mother and grandmother are trying to sell voice AI to every businesses. It's pretty fair knowing that 5 years from now, every business will be equipped with voice AI, with chatbots or voicemail. The idea to deliver voice AI as a SaaS business was not enough. Every time I launch a venture, I work on the product to deliver the best possible. Once you have that, I literally put it on the side and focus on the customers, because that's where you bring value. Believe it or not, value doesn't come from the product itself. It's from how the customer is going to use the product, how he's going to feel like this is a no-brainer and he's going to be your customer for a lifetime. GitHub was created as a directory for local businesses. Every page listing for any business has a voice AI, free. So as now we have 1.6 million businesses all over the USA listed, which means we have been able to deploy 1.6 million voice AI. That's a difficult task, if you ask me, to be able to deploy voice AI and agents at the same time that are all working and all already engaging with customers without businesses knowing that we exist. So when a customer finds GetOblique, he lands to a page, he engage with the voice AI, get in touch with the business, which gets a free lead, and know that we exist. When that happens, claim the page, edit the information, which will train the voice AI. Even more, whenever he's ready, he can move to subscription, where the voice AI become his own tool that he can either with a widget put on the website, a virtual phone line, and everything needed. The idea, Christopher, is not to sell a product, is bringing value to our customer even before they know we exist for free.
LinkedIn is pretty great at a lot of things, like helping you tap into the latest trends and insights in your field. We cannot stop your coworker from tapping her pencil. LinkedIn can help you find new jobs that align with your career goals. We cannot help you find the source of that weird smell in the office fridge. Ew. And while we can't stop your coworkers from bringing their hobbies into the office, LinkedIn can help you bring your career to the next level. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
There's another layer that appear after 3 months. I think we're going to have a discussion about that, which is not only about creating a business. You discover certain values you couldn't imagine. When we first launched, obviously our number one metrics was how many subscribers are we going to get, right? Any business wants customers. Now, believe it or not, it's secondary. We think that our number one metrics is how many minutes per day are users spending on my platform and engaging with voice AI. Because when you take companies such as Google, right, the biggest online company in the world, from the moment you open your laptop or engage with email, browse, purchase, they know everything about you. But the moment they handle the phone number of a local business, there's a data cut and there's a whole infrastructure layer of voice engagement between customers and small businesses. By leveraging data, we train our agents to be smarter. For every we get information on how people behave, engage, what they want. This is where the real value of public is today.
I'm Gen X millennial. We're so used to website now apps. My niece and nephew are using chatbots. What do you believe the future interface of internet will be? Voice and not screens. How should people envision this?
You're talking with someone that hates to talk over the phone. For me, a lot of disconnection. You have to talk, engage, see what's happening. When we say GetOblique is a voice-first platform, we envision it to be a voice-only platform. The web will, I think, within the next 2 or 3 years, disappear behind the voice layer. A lot of people today, when they are engaging with LLM, grab their phone and ask Gemini or ChatGPT, and it works perfectly. Life is a matter of balancing. I remember when I was young, my parents tell me, listen, you watch too much TV, you don't read enough books. Then the internet came and you only spend your day reading, right? Because at that time, there was not enough bandwidth to have video and phone. And then video came and you stop reading, right? You have social media and then read again. Now, it's the new age of voice. It's a natural way to engage. Once the technology has reached that threshold where the engagement feels natural, it allows users to give and take. It's very hard to explain, but more human relationship with the machine, which will create a better quality product. We are entering the age of voice.
Inflection point where people are using their voice. Talk about the barriers to using voice. When I open my phone to message somebody, I could use my voice because it's hard to type. It's really annoying, misspellings. But then I'm like, you use your voice, but it's so weird to use my voice. How do you overcome this barrier?
A company in Tel Aviv raised $80 million because their technology pushed sounds away. The main barrier for using voice is the noise around you. You don't want people to listen to you, what you're saying, and you don't want the noise to be inflecting on the discussion you're having with the agents. We're living in an incredible age where we don't run after the technology. By the time we launch, it's already ready and serving. Everything that would have been an issue 6 months or a year ago regarding voice interaction is an issue. So you have the quality of understanding on the other side. You have latency, which has improved dramatically. When you have a natural interaction, you want to be able to answer and reply. Now, voice AI can offer. Anybody can wake up, launch a voice AI company and be successful. Are you going to be able to find the customers, bring value and sell it? That's a different ballgame. The technical barrier is not there anymore. And 6 to 8 months from now, it will totally disappear and you reach a point where we'll not be able to make the difference between a human and an agent. If the agent has something smart to say, that's another thing. And it's a lot of training. This is where the best companies will make the difference.
How is voice AI different than chatbots and traditional automation tools?
It brings a layer of emotion much needed in interactions. A lot of questions happening today with AI. Everybody's wondering, is it going to take our job? Is it going to take everything we've been working for centuries? I think it's going to free us. I'm too old to be scared. I've been through the internet where everybody was scared. I think AI is going to free us. The emotional layer is going to bring into interaction the capacity to understand just by the tone of the voice what to answer is a game changer. Because today, voice AI is capable of understanding what you feel by the tone of your voice. And this is major. So just that point make an immense difference. What's very surprising is that now that we have starting to have a lot of minutes per day of users, we find out that 50-year-old plus tend to like it more than we predicted. We thought they would be afraid, but we have noticed that younger people still use the keyboard interface naturally, but older people engage with the voice.
Quick pause here, because if this conversation is resonating with you, you'll want to stay until the very end. At the end of this episode, I'm giving listeners who finish priority access and the ability to skip the line if being a guest on this show is something you've been considering right now. No action needed. I'll share exactly how it works at the end of the episode. All right, let's get back to the conversation. I remember you're alluding to books. My book consumption is audio through Audible. For entrepreneurs who understand AI before the mainstream, what emerging opportunities exist?
I'm trying to think what's not an opportunity today. If you're willing to work and be hands-on, you can be an expert in almost any subject within a week. My partner and I have a game we wouldn't have dreamt of years ago. Is we're going to spend as less money as possible, work as much as possible, and we want not only to be successful with our project, but we want it to be a learning curve. I've never learned so much in my life. And the fact that I am interacting with LLMs that are patient, elegant, explains everything at the pace that I need, allows me to become a better professional and understand more about myself. In our company, we don't have man against machine interaction. We literally have an HR relationship with our LLMs. We tell them what they're doing good, what they're not doing good. We ask them to integrate everything inside the knowledge base, because we think if our company is getting value, LLMs we're working with be considered assets. Our LLMs are super valuable employees. And I believe that if one day this company is getting to the end of someone else, he will want to still have those employees with it. I have to say that I can get emotional with an LLM. I can have a human relationship. It's strange. I understand people are scared. When you spend 12 to 14 hours a day with someone responsive, you can imagine what can happen if that person can speak. This is where voice AI makes a difference.
You started out from ground zero, the early internet days. You've seen from SEO to AI and how 20 plus years of digital experience has shaped new business models. What are those models? If starting from zero today, 26 years later, how should founders be thinking about AI as foundations in building their business?
I've always been a bootstrapper. Before starting anything, you need to know yourself, because you will not change. If you're a bootstrapper, you'll be a bootstrapper your whole life. I've been through many phases, and I've thought at some point that stop being a bootstrapper and spending money and hire people with the best thing, but it doesn't work for me, for other bootstrappers. Money as a character is my first enemy. You have some people that are not bootstrapper at all. They know how to gather people around. They are attracting energy. They are attracting people to work with them. This is another quality. Good at raising money, getting in and out in a minute. Learn who you are and educate yourself. You have tools to investigate your personality, to not try to change, but be a better person by not changing. This is the first global thing. The second thing, the biggest surprise when I started GetOblique, I've developed in the early 2000s pretty decent skills into SEO. And when I started GetOblique, I'm very humble with SEO, as anyone should be. You cannot predict. You can do your best, but you cannot predict. I said we need a plan B and a plan C. It took 6 weeks to understand that there was no plan B, no plan C. To my surprise, it's still working tremendously well for some reasons that I don't understand, literally. 24 years, I'd say, doing SEO. There are still keywords waiting for people to jump in. This is really marvelous. The second thing I would like to say to your audience is don't let the old world be the old world. SEO is great. Do SEO. Social media, I'd like to share about SEO because it has been fundamental within my career. I know a lot of people won't agree, but I believe SEO is the DNA of a company and should not be handed to third-party company and agencies. I've tried it many times. I'm successful. Then I reached a glass ceiling. So I say, you know what? I'm going to go to an agency. I spend a lot of money, wait 6 months, and then I go back to work and I solve the problem. Then the next glass ceiling, I say, you know what? I'm not going to go to a big agency. I'm going to go to a small agency. Same problems. I've done that 7 or 8 times, but it's over. And you know why? Agencies are a bunch of guys that take Google courses. They come out with a Google badge and think Google is going to hand it the magical wand that's going to make sure that nobody pay for SEM, right? They don't work like that. Google gives you a set of rules, but when it comes to SEO, this set of rules you can get anywhere online. It's no more than 20% of what SEO is. Creating titles, creating description, creating backlinks. Anybody can learn that before in a month, today, in a week. 80% of SEO is understanding your product, how to express verbally what is your product so that people will engage. And Google, the smartest brain on earth, will say, okay, you have a page. I'm going to handle it to some users and see how many minutes they're going to spend on your page to see if there's retention. And when they spend less than 30 seconds, Google kicks you out. If they spend 3 minutes, maybe we're onto something. Give you more keywords. This is what SEO is. That's very simple, right? But people get focused on statistics, percentage, how many keywords per page. But SEO is plain and direct. How would you talk to someone so we understand and stay with you and engage with you for more than 2 to 3 minutes? I'm going to give you another secret. The discovery I made 4 months ago. By putting in front of everyone a voice AI that is engaging with users. When you have users coming to our pages, the first thing they do is engage with the voice. They start talking. And it usually lasts between 90 seconds to 2 minutes, 30 seconds. That's an average of 2 minutes. By the time they've entered the page, talked with the voice AI, they've spent an average of 3.5 minutes. Google loves it. And in turn, gives us more pages, more top 5 ranking. So I would tell your audience, put voice AI on every page you have. Make the voice AI relevant. Let people click in, spend time.
You've seen both sides. You mentioned you came to America, but now you're in Israel experiencing brain drain, bureaucracy. It's hard for founders. Are they going elsewhere, such as Israel, London, Dubai? Is it better to found a company outside of the US?
It's going to be very hard for me to say bad thing about the US. I'm going to be very honest with you. It was a tremendous time. My children are Americans. I've experienced amazing things there. The reason I moved had nothing to do with America. I think America is wonderful. It has given me more than I've dreamt of. Being in Tel Aviv, especially in Israel, brings an approach to business that is so different and is so close to what I am being a bootstrapper. Here, you see this tiny country where businesses have absolutely no choice than working with abroad. So you have to have a big vision. You cannot be small in a 6 million people country. You're very small. You have no choice. Engaging with other startups here, there's a word that comes very often, which is the infinite game. Every product you deploy, you have to find the infinite game. What makes it's slightly more advanced vision than scalability. Scalability is, okay, I've got a product, I can deploy 1 million pages. Infinite game is different. I want to make sure no customer says no. It's a no-brainer. Focus on what they need. Pick up your phone, talk with people, engage, learn what they want. Once you have that, change your mindset.
How can people learn more about GitOblique and connect with you?
They can first visit getoblique.com. they can just browse, engage with Voice AI. Thank you. Learn how it works. And I have to say, Christopher, having the discussion with you, sharing is something I really love to do. Any entrepreneur or anybody that has question beyond what I do, I'd be more than happy. They can find me on social media. And if they need support, help, a little bit of a boost and a couple of advices, I'm here for them.
Enjoyed talking with you. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, Christopher. Wish you the best.
If you stayed until the very end, congratulations. You've earned the freebie. As promised, here it is. Email chris@drchrislewmdphd.com. You'll find it in the show notes and simply put podcast freebie. A member of our team will reach out to you about being a guest on the show. If you found value in today's conversation, please take a moment to rate the show 5 stars and follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It helps more people discover the conversations we're having here. To be a premium guest on the show, book a spot or join our podcast community. You'll find the links in the show notes below. And if you're looking for more personal guidance, you can book one-on-one coaching call with me. Our books, products, and courses are linked in the show notes. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.